Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is Selena. Welcome back to one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Selena and I release a crochet tutorial every week. So this week I'm bringing to you this absolutely gorgeous project, which is a pocket shawl. I've called it the Harvest Moon Pocket Shawl. And it's really easy to crochet. It features a really lovely textured shawl, and then pockets and fringes, and it's very easy to crochet. The free pattern will be on my blog as always, selenaveronique.com, with all the details from the measurements to the whole pattern and everything in between. For this project, I used Landscapes by Lion Brands, and it's in colour 122 taupe, and it's 100% acrylic and considered a medium 4 yarn. And I used 6 skeins for the entire shawl, and then a bit of a 7th skein for the fringes. So I also used a 7mm crochet hook, and I also used a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. I also used this book to create the fringes. I will be walking you through that process step by step at the end of the tutorial, and again I will be writing the dimensions of this book on my blog, along with all the details. And a lot of the details will also be in the down bar in the description box. So I will be using US terms with British terms in brackets, and I do hope you enjoy this tutorial. So to begin this tutorial, I'm just going to walk you through the body of the shawl part. So this is the long shawl, long scarf part. So to begin this tutorial, you will be making a slip knot. So just go ahead and make your slip knot. Pop your hook through. And now we are going to be chaining 42. So just chain 42. 1, 2, 3. So you should have 42. I've got less, but the principle is the exact same. So once you have 42 chains, you are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 chains from the hook, and you are going to be placing a single crochet directly into this stitch. And this first chain 3 here counts as a double crochet. Now you are going to be going into the next chain and placing a double crochet into that chain, and then you're going to go into the next chain and place a single crochet into that chain, and then you are going to be going into the next chain and placing a double crochet into that. Then you're going to go into the next chain and place a single crochet into that chain, and then you are going to be going into the next chain and placing a double crochet into that, and then into the next chain place a single crochet, and that is the end of this row. So as you can see, this is the first row where we've alternated single crochets and double crochets. So for row 2, you are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3. Turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet with this first stitch, and we are going to be placing in the next stitch a single crochet. And as you can see, we are not only alternating double crochets and single crochets on one row, we are actually alternating them from row to row also. So now once we've done our single crochet into the next stitch, we are going to be placing a double crochet, and this is on top of a single crochet from the previous row. And now into the next stitch we are placing a single crochet, and that is on top of a double crochet from the previous row. In the next stitch, place a double crochet. And I've practically finished this row, so I'm just going to show you the end. So just alternate those stitches. And now to finish off this row, we are going to be placing a single crochet into the chain 3 from the previous row, like so. And this is row 2. And now we are simply going to be repeating row 2 over and over. So just chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work and alternate your stitches. So just repeat row 2. Okay, so just repeat row 2 until you have 140 rows in total, or until you have, which is the same, like for me, 140 rows is 78.5 inches in length of the shawl. However, you can obviously make the shawl as big as you prefer. So simply repeat row 2 for another 140 rows, and this for me equals 78.5 inches in length. Obviously, you can make your shawl as big as you prefer. This is just my information from my pattern. So yes, everything again will be written down on the free pattern on my blog, so don't forget to check that out. So I'm just going to let you carry on your rows, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to do the edging. So I'm just going to show you how to make the edging border with my sample. However, obviously you will have a much larger project, so this is what it looks like on my shawl. So this is the single crochet edging that we will be doing all along the edge of the shawl, and I'm going to show you how I created that. So to create your edging, you are simply going to be chaining 1, so chain 1, and I'm just going to turn my work. So obviously this will be very long because this will be the length of the shawl, but the principle is the exact same. And this is what I call the wrong side of the stitches, so there's no definite stitch, but you are simply going to be placing single crochets evenly all along this this side. So as you can see, I'm just placing my single crochets all along this side evenly. So you do want enough single crochets because you don't want your shawl to be too tight. So if you don't put enough single crochets, sometimes it can kind of tighten your wrap. So you don't want too many, but you don't want not enough. I hope this is making sense. So then you're simply going to turn this around and place a single crochet all the way around. So just carry on doing that, and I'll show you what to do to finish off this round. I also want to add that when you reach each corner, just place 2 single crochets instead of 1 in those corners. So just go ahead and do that all the way around, and then once you reach each full corner, make sure you place 2 double crochets there. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and now to finish off this row, I'm just simply going to be going into the first single crochet or the first chain, whichever you prefer, and slip stitch. So just go ahead and slip stitch, and then once you've done that, simply fasten off and tidy up your loose end. And now I am going to be showing you how to make the pockets. So this is my pocket, and obviously I have 2 pockets. You will be making 2, and I'll be writing down on my blog and the pattern how big it is. You will be making a slip knot. Just go ahead and make your slip knot, and now we will be chaining 28. So just go ahead and chain 28. 1, 2, 3, So I've chained less, but the principle will be the same. So once you've chained 28, just count 1, 2, and 3 chains from the hook. Wrap your yarn around your hook, go into that third chain, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook, and pull your yarn through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet, and the first chain 2 counts as a half double crochet, and this creates, yes, a half double crochet. So now we are simply going to be placing half double crochets all along this chain. So just go ahead and place a half double crochet all along this chain until you reach the end of the chain, and then I'll show you what to do once you reach the end of this chain. Okay, so this is row 1 of half double crochets. Now for the next row we are going to be chaining 2, 1 and 2, and this counts as your first half double crochet with this first stitch, and we are simply going to be going into the second stitch and placing a half double crochet into that, and into the next stitch and placing a half double crochet into that, and into the next stitch, and I'm just going to let you carry this on until you reach the end of this row. So I've almost finished this row, so there we go, I'm almost finished, but don't forget the chain 2 from the previous row, into which we are simply going to be placing a half double crochet, and this is what it looks like, but it will straighten out as we go along. So now we are simply going to be repeating row 2 for the remainder of this pocket. So just chain 2 counts as your first stitch, so go directly into the second and place a half double crochet into that, and then into the next stitch, and so on. So I'm just going to let you repeat row 2 until you have 15 rows in total, and once you have 15 rows, simply fasten off, and then I'll show you how to stitch your pocket onto your shawl. So here we go, I'm just going to show you how to place your pocket onto your wrap to sew it on. So to sew on the pocket, which I finished, firstly I left a long tail for sewing, and then the way I've placed it is I've counted so 4 rows from the bottom, so 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, like so, and then I've counted on each side, so I've placed it set like in the center, and there's 6 rows on this side and 6 rows on that side, and just make sure that it's nice and centered. So this is where I've placed my pockets, and then I'm just going to stitch my pockets into the wrap like so. So very easily I'm simply going to go down like this, then here, and then up again, just to sew and secure my pockets in. So just go ahead and do that, and I'm just simply going to be sewing my pocket in using a basic stitch. So I'm just going to let you do that, and then I'll get back to you. So do both pockets, and then once you've done both pockets, so you are simply going to be doing the exact same thing on the other side, and once you've sewed in your pockets, I'll show you how to finish off this wrap with the fringes on the bottom of each side. Okay, so I'm just going to explain to you how to do the fringes. So as you can see, I've already done quite a few fringes on this side. And so what I did, I started with a fringe on one of the corners. So you will be doing this on both sides of this wrap. And then I placed them in every second stitch. So I've placed them in the first stitch, then I skipped this stitch, and then I placed it in the next, skipped one stitch and placed it in the next. And so what I'm going to do now is show you how to create the fringes. So I used this book. So that's how, like, the length I wanted my fringes to be. So I didn't want them to be too big. I will be writing down on my blog the dimensions of this book. And also I'm going to be trimming this part, so it'll probably be taking off about 1 inch, maybe a bit less than an inch, I'm not sure, off the fringes altogether. So I wanted them to be longer rather than shorter than what I wanted to begin with. And so to create the fringes, so I've placed 3 strands per fringe. And so what I've done is I'm wrapping, so I do them by grouping it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to wrap it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, for instance. That means I'll have so 6 strands in total. So I've just snipped off my yarn, and I'm going to snip off the yarn here, and this creates 6 individual strands of about the same length. I'm just going to select 3 like so, and make sure that they are more or less evenly placed. Then I am going to take my crochet hook and place it through the selected stitch, then take this yarn, pull it through like this, and once I've done that, I'm just going to adjust the fringes just so that when I pull it through all together, they are more or less the same size, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going to, through this loop, take this part and pull through. There we go. There we go. And then once I've done that, once I've pulled through, I'm just going to gently tighten like so. And this is how I'm going to place my fringes. So I'm just going to let you carry on until you reach the last of the stitches that you need to place a strand through. And then once you reach that, I'll show you just how I'm going to be trimming my my fringes. Okay, so I finished all my fringes. I'm really excited about how they look. And what I am going to be doing is kind of placing them like so, and then I'm just gonna trim them. So obviously you can see they're not all even, and I'm just gonna not randomly, but trying to be as precise as I can, I'm just simply going to be giving them a trim. So I'm just gonna let you do this. So here we go, I've trimmed my fringes and I've completed my pocket shawl. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to leave me a comment or leave me a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe for a new crochet tutorial weekly. And thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye.